Hi, my name is Kyle. In this video, I'm going to do something a little differently. It involves the George Floyd case, not particularly the trial so much, but just how we know that this whole thing, when you mention George Floyd, you're going to separate the room in half. When people are going to have a very strong opinion on one side, and the other half's going to have another strong opinion on the other side. And so what I want to do is show you a conversation that I found on Facebook where it was between two people and they're talking about George Floyd. The topic is this. The question was, when he was in custody, what should they have done? And the fact that he was actually saying before he got into the car and out of the car and back onto the ground multiple times, he couldn't breathe. And we know from toxicology reports and so forth that he had a certain amount of drugs in him, and that may have played a role in that. In fact, the first coroner report said that was the reason why he died. But again, this is not so much about the opinions of the court, because that's still going on now, or even about the details of the case. It just deals with video evidence of what we saw that was released after the fact and this person's opinion prior to seeing that footage. Because here's the thing, we talk about this a lot on this channel, that it's about the narrative and how that is very important, because what ends up happening is people's opinions come from that, whether it be true or not. Hands up, don't shoot is a proven false narrative, which was admitted by Barack Obama's Attorney General, Eric Holder, admitted it wasn't true, but yet that caused riots and death and mayhem. And so the point I was trying to make in this video here is saying that even though you have false narratives, you can still, with love, compassion, and patience and facts, get people who are feeling on the other side of the room a very, very strong way, come over on the other side of the room with the new evidence. And that's what we should all aspire to be when it comes to debating people and talking to people, because typically nowadays it's so heated and so emotional, people just call you names or cancel you or run away or make something negative out of it when it didn't have to be that way if they just listen to the evidence as presented. So we're gonna take a look at this real quickly, and I'm going to read it to you. I think you're going to find it very, very, very interesting. Here's the first statement. This is in defense of the position that the cops should have done more. This person says here, he should have been immediately taken to the hospital. Was he a good guy? No, but he was still human. He wasn't resisting. So take him to the hospital. Should have been sitting in jail for putting a gun to a woman. Yes, they killed him, period. So the response, this is the other person coming out, this other opinion says he overdosed. That's what killed him. This person comes back again and says, I know that's right. What I didn't like was cops taunting the public using Floyd as a dog. They should have took him to the hospital. I'm not defending his whole life. Just at this moment, cops were out of line. Not all cops were bad, but even good cops condemned their actions. Now, I will say this, the particular post on this had nothing to do with anything other than the fact that George Floyd said that he couldn't breathe, that he was, before he was on the ground with the knee, that he was saying even before that he couldn't breathe. And so that was what the point was. Had nothing to do with his life or him holding a gun to a woman or anything like that. But this person is entering new arguments into something that was never brought up before. This person comes back and says, did the police follow proper procedures in terms of calling medical assistance when they first thought he was at risk? That is a separate argument altogether, one which I am not making. So this person says, okay, I get that, but that's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is, the argument that I'm making is that George Floyd, in effect, killed himself by overdosing. Okay, this person says, I agree. All I'm saying is they didn't have to taunt the bystanders using Floyd as their prop. He wasn't resisting. They should have put him in the car and took him to the hospital for a drug overdose. Doctors might have saved his life. Then this person says here, they tried to put him in the car, he refused, and George Floyd asked the police to put him on the ground. He was fighting them hard. Here's the video. Gave some time marks from 50 seconds to 2:37. Here you will see what clearly happened. And so I'll leave a link to this video if you want to check it out for those time marks here. And in the video, George Floyd was resisting. He was in anguish, he was in distress. A bystander was saying, look, man, just give up, you can't win. In other words, get in the car and don't resist. And so the cops were pushing him in the car. They got him into the car and out of the car really quickly. He wanted to go on the ground, and you could tell the cops were struggling hard on that. That's the only argument that this person here is making. And then after she watched the clip, she says here, this video could have saved the city. Democrats used him and threw him away. Now they don't need him. Sad, sad deal. You see here with that information that was presented, that new information after watching the video, it's irrefutable based on the argument that this person was making. He basically was saying, look, before this happened, he was able to breathe and he said he couldn't breathe. And then after the fact, we're charging these officers for choking him to death and him being on the ground and saying he can't breathe. That's the narrative. And so this person was just arguing against that one single issue. And so I recommend, if you're on Facebook or on social media or in person, if you want to argue with somebody, take one topic at a time and make sure you can agree on that one topic before moving on. Had this person gone off on the tangent about the hospital and about this and this and that, then it would have been a much more heated discussion and it would have got out of control. But instead, sticking to one particular issue, holding that line and going forward, pretty much got them to agree on the fact that, hey, that's what happened. And the video is irrefutable. And so let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm curious to know what you think. We haven't commented at all on George Floyd because at the time we did a video, we didn't know much about it and didn't feel necessary to talk about it, other than the fact of the riots, which we did do a couple of videos on that. But basically, it's about coming together and being able to talk and agree to even disagree. In this case, they tended to agree at least on this one issue. So I'll check you guys next time. If you like what you see here, please like and subscribe.